Hello. Is it that time again?
It is.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.
Cue the outro music.
All right, I'll do it. Oh, where is it? Where's my cursor?
Quick, Popsky, let's go.
All right, and away we go.
That's so definitely a record for us.
Yeah, isn't it? Fastest episode ever.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and girls. Wait, hold on. Boys and girls.
it is time once again for
The one, the only, Boosters and Space Tape relaunched.
I have no voice changing software, so it's just me.
You need to fix that.
Yes, maybe I should get a go at like that. Go at it. You know.
Go
Go
XLR.
XLR. Go
Eh,
XLR.
don't.
Hey, don't. For those of you that aren't aware, Go XLR, the support has now been dropped by TC Helicon. So, don't buy one
fantastic.
now.
That's like
Yeah.
Oculus Rift S.
It's
They stopped
Has that been
supporting
dropped
it.
too? Really? I'm
They
not
want
surprised.
you to. They want you to buy the new version, which is crap because the DK models and Oculus Rift and Rift S paved the way for this, and they've just dropped all the support.
Well, that's a
It
shame.
makes me sad.
That's making me really angry, and so I don't play it anymore.
Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah, let's not dwell on that. There's enough to dwell on.
KSP.
Yeah, there's enough to
We
dwell
talk
on with
about
this.
all the things that have failed. Womp womp.
Womp, womp.
Oh, what a segue.
What a segue.
Just insert the SpongeBob womp 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 sound. But without
Yes, follow it up with 3 hours later, and then we start the intro.
well, speaking of the intro, I think it's time to say what we usually say, and that is hello everyone and welcome back to Boosters and Space Tape Relaunched, the podcast about Kerbal Space Program, real space, and other cool and sciencey stuff. Hello everybody. My name is Matoro, and today's date is July 15th, 2023, and we are back after having to delay for a week due to multiple circumstances. I didn't have internet last weekend. That was fun.
Let's face it, that was probably the biggest thorn in our side.
There are a
is
few
the-
things going on.
There's a few
I mean-
things, but yeah, my internet was out for 3 days because of a lightning storm, so
Yeah.
not fun.
For those of you who aren't aware, myself and Aki, we are set up to host the show for the most part. We are pretty well set up, but not quite as refined as Matoro's setup. So, yeah, if he ain't here, it is not going to be quite as good. And we want you guys to have the best possible show you can.
And guess what? Digi might be running it next weekend.
Yay! But that's all right. I think I've ironed out all the problems I had from last
you got
time.
this. You got this.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, I might be abandoning
We could have
you.
recorded. We could
could've.
have recorded last weekend. We were going to, but
You could have.
obviously Mater's issue. Red actually forgot. It was
Which
recorded.
it happens.
So he was which happens. So he was unprepared. I was pretty busy moving stuff around the house, and
Let's face it,
I
last
think,
week was
I think
weird.
you were all right. Actually, were you all right? Did you? I think you were all right.
I
weren't
think
you?
he was the only one of us that was actually ready to go.
Look,
Yeah,
to be
but-
fair, I started a brand new job on the previous Monday, and my body
Yes,
clock was
that's right.
kind of out of whack. So
Oh,
I was
right.
kind of thankful.
How's that going, by the way?
Wonderfully,
Excellent.
wonderfully. Yeah,
Well, we decided that we weren't going to record while you were asleep, didn't we?
you did,
Which wasn't very helpful to you.
which was fine, right?
You woke up, saw it, and went,
when I
okay.
saw a message saying, "Oh, my internet's out," I said, "You guys work it out between you. If I see that you're not gonna record, then I'm gonna go back to sleep." So I rolled over, grabbed my phone, went, all right, they're canceling, put it down, and went back to sleep and slept for another 4 hours. So, you know,
Oh.
I was lucky.
Blissful. Absolutely blissful.
Ah, look, I'll take it. I will take any sleep I can get.
I'm sure you will. And you know what?
I have 4 kids now, so you know.
And you know what? That sounds like a good segue to what I have to say now. Can you tell I've been watching Linus Tech Tips a little bit?
Yeah.
But yes,
King of segues.
enough of our blabbering right now, because I do have to say, with me are my wonderful friends, the one and only, the Thunder from Down Under, Mr. Digital Psychosis.
G'day, mate.
How you doing?
All right.
And our
know why I'm
lovely,
talking like that.
spiffing fellow from across the pond, the one, the only, the underscore, Akinesis Gaming.
Hello there.
Hello. Sorry, I'm never going to let you live that down.
Hello. T.
Spiffing.
Tea. I'm so British, I keep a rich tea behind my biscuit, pre-dunked with tea.
Don't make me come over there and throw it in the harbor.
Yes.
But as I'm sure everybody that's listening and watching will be able to discern, unfortunately, Red is not with us this week. He, excuse me, he had to step away for personal reasons this week, so he'll hopefully be back. He will hopefully be back next time. So, yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. And look.
And hello to Coffee in chat.
Yes, Coffee. Hello.
Yes. I mean, we should just say to him, "Hey, do you want to jump on a podcast?" And you know, you can jump in.
Coffee.
Please don't make me fix this live.
No, we're not doing it live. We're not doing
this live. No.
Not again.
Well, we said
No.
we get a guest whenever one of us wasn't here, but unfortunately the last couple of times it's been a last minute thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter.
And we've all pretty well been here.
Mm.
Yeah.
We can run it with 3. We just go a bit wayward.
A little
That
bit.
Red. So we're coming up to 15 minutes and we haven't talked about
We've only
anything.
just
Haven't even
done
finished
the
the intro.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of coming up to 15 minutes, we're at 13 minutes. So you know what? That's a good segue to our personal progress section.
You know what else has 1 and 3 in the numbers? The current KSP updates.
Hey. Oh, it's one of those days.
All right. Well, all right. Let's do it live. How about I do my personal progress then? Talk about what's been going on.
Take it away, psycho.
All right, guys. I got a little bit to talk about when we start talking about KSP.
I love how we're not doing it in accordance with the script at all.
We haven't done it in accordance with that thing in like
the script.
months.
Screw the
What is
script.
the
We're
point
doing
in
it
this
live.
thing?
We're pushing this along, baby. Let's get it going.
We just write a load of stuff in and then ignore it.
All right.
It's
We'll
costing
follow it
electricity
next
to have
week,
it on the other
okay?
screen.
That's fine. Like
talk?
I have 4
That's
monitors
my
and ADHD. Let's go. Right? We're doing
We're
it
behind
live.
cameras, we're all on the screen, we're all wearing
Let's go,
clothes.
let's
do
go,
this.
let's go. All right, come on. Personal progress. Guys, yeah, so I'm going to talk about something in the KSP section that is kind of cool. So, guys, stick around for that. I will give you a little bit more of a taste of exactly what I'm going to talk about anyway. So that's something cool to get excited about. Beyond that, I have started a new role with a new company, and I am doing some really cool stuff off to the side. Unfortunately, I can't really talk about it. I've told these gentlemen what I'm doing, but I generally don't talk about my private life a whole lot, but I am working for an organization that I actually believe in. So I'm dedicating a hell of a lot of time to making sure my career is in the place that it needs to be. Outside of that, I have spent a hell of a lot of time building Warhammer. I have built probably about $1,000 worth of Warhammer in the last few weeks. So
what's new?
not a small amount of miniatures. My plastic crack addiction has just expanded ridiculously. And it occurs to me that I actually have several 3,000 point armies for the new edition of Warhammer, which has just been released. So Warhammer 40k, that is. So I have been very, very busy doing all of those things alongside being a dad and now actually traveling into the office 3 days a week. So that has been a very big lifestyle change. And
Who are you?
I know. The hell is wrong with me? You know, it's like I'm actually dedicated or something. Yeah. So I've been very, very busy. That's all I'm going to tell you all for now, and I'm going to throw it over to someone else. I'm going to say someone else. Decide between you. Toss a coin,
going off the
rock,
back of
paper,
your-
scissors, whatever.
Going off the back of your plastic miniatures.
Segueing to Aki!
Actually, yesterday, because I've got the BattleTech ones,
Ah, yes.
and I did a tabletop BattleTech game with my son and daughter,
Hey!
which went really well. I did a very, very, very simple version of it. I came up with myself, it was on the spot, and it worked out really well. But my son was so excited to be playing it. He absolutely loved it. So that was good. And my daughter, turns out, she didn't look too interested, but she said to me
When
that, earlier
things
that she was
got
just
going?
tired. Yeah, yeah. Well, we played a few rounds, and she said she was tired, but she said she'll play again. But yeah, no, my son was super excited about it, and he's been pestering all day to play again. So we'll have another game tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's good. The only other thing about my personal progress is I completely forgot to go to the toilet before we started recording, so I might start dancing around in a bit. Other than that, I'm going to pass it on to Mator.
Alrighty then. Well, in that case, I've just been busy with work, getting ready for my next launch trip, which may or may not be in the next 6 days. I'm just waiting for SpaceX to not be so radio silent on Falcon Heavy. So there's that.
Yeah. When is that supposedly booked for?
The 23rd at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So next Sunday.
So next weekend.
Yes.
When we're meant to be recording.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Hi, friend.
Hi. Don't worry, I got this.
Coffee, standby.
But yeah. In other news, I've also been playing a lot of Borderlands 3 with Buddy, and we just played through the Krieg DLC, and oh my god, what a masterpiece.
How good is that?
I love that DLC. So good.
I have played very little of Borderlands 3, but I have at least watched some of that DLC, and it's like, all right, you've restoring my faith in the game here, because personally I think 3 was very badly written.
Well, yeah. The story is one thing, but from a gameplay mechanics perspective, it's so good.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about Borderlands 3 after 2 and the pre-sequel. Like, pre-sequel will always have a place in my heart because it was done by an Australian team.
It's basically Space Australia. Come on.
It is Space Australia, and it's full of Australian jokes, which is fantastic. There is even a part where you go find Ned Kelly. Sorry, no, not Ned Kelly. Waltzing Matilda. The story of Waltzing Matilda, if you've ever heard that song, which is a very Australian song, they have the story of Waltzing Matilda in the game, and it's like, this is the funniest thing I have ever seen, that this even exists. And then they followed it up with the Boganella, which was the shotgun that had the voice of an Australian bogan going, oh, bang, bang, fill me up as you're reloading. Just come on, fill me up. You know, it's just hilarious, and I love that. And I don't think that there's anything they can do that will ever match up to it.
You're biased.
I am.
You're extremely biased. But hey, the pre-sequel wasn't a bad game by any stretch. It's just, my only real complaint with it is it's just short.
It's the redheaded stepchild of the series. Like, it is not really as beloved as you'd think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about Borderlands as much as
The Broderlands, yeah.
as much as you and I could probably go on about it. But yeah,
I know.
I've been playing Borderlands 3 and just loot farming and the Creed DLC, and also in the real life space, I now have a network attached storage system in my room with 14 terabytes of spare storage. It is nice.
So much recording to be done.
It's a Synology, so it's running in. There's 3 drives in there, each 8 terabytes each. So it's running in Synology hybrid rate, and oh my god, this thing's great. I can't wait to actually get out on the road and start dumping files while not home. Just because I can do that now.
Here's one thing that I just want to ask for everyone else's knowledge, but also for my own. When you're taking photos, right? When you're taking photos, you're taking them at an extremely high resolution. You're taking them at a very high quality. All of that. How large is a photo file? Like at full size, full quality, without any compression whatsoever. How big is a photo?
Like a raw photo just out of the gate. Here, I can tell you right now. I got it right here somewhere. Where did I put them? Oh, I've lost them already.
See, this is the guy that does professional photography of boom tubes that I just don't have any knowledge about doing because I live in Australia and I don't have the luxury of seeing rockets up close.
So using my top camera right now, which is an EOS 90D, it takes at 32, I think it's 32 megapixel. Like, all right, so a shot from Starship that I took, about 30-ish megabyte.
About 30 odd meg.
Yeah.
Right. So
it'll vary around that range.
So every 100 photos you take is a gig.
Yep.
So that's just to put it in perspective. That's why he has a NAS that he can access remotely.
And
even then, you're going to run out quickly, potentially.
And with my cat fur, I swear. With my cat fur, no.
Stop eating your cat.
with my
There's a
two.
joke in that.
So I also have 2 EOS 80Ds and a 70D. The 80s shoot at about 20-ish megabyte because they shoot at, I think it's 24 megapixel, and the EOS 70D shoots at 20 megapixel if I remember the stats right, which brings us out to probably about 18 or so. Let's see, I'm trying to find my remote shots.
So let's
20-ish.
ballpark it, right?
Yeah.
You know, per megapixel, it's about a megabyte.
So I have 4 cameras doing all of this work, and let me see. It's something on the order of all my photos from the past like 10 years. It's still calculating.
So if they take what 100 photos each, then you're looking at what? That's 100 by 4 by 30 odd. That's what 120 gig.
Sure, we'll go with that. I know the number is a lot larger right now.
I'm only doing back of the napkin maths here, but you know that's 100 gig per session. That's not small.
Yeah. Well, no, I usually shoot like 400 photos per, and it comes out to something like 30 gig.
Yeah,
roughly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But,
that's a rough
I'm doing
ballpark.
back of the napkins. Either way, that's still impressive. And yeah, don't occupy all of your NAS drive with podcast episodes.
No, I've given us a terabyte, and I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
And we might be done at the end of the calculation. It is at 1.26 and still going. Never mind. 2 terabyte.
Windows. Anyway, shall we move on?
Also, this is a family NAS, so it's not just me using it, thankfully.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to. That's what's going on in my sphere. 1.28 terabyte. It finished at 74,746 files.
Kerbal Space Photography.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you know what that is, Aki?
A segue.
It's a segue to our next section. Oh, we're gonna drive this into the ground. But it is
I
time.
think we've done that. I think we're at the bottom of the lake now. Drove it into the ground a long time ago.
It's time for the Kerbal Space Program section. Mr. Digital Psychosis, would you like to take us away? Or wait. Yes, it was you on there.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about something very, very quickly for you all before we get into any of the more interesting things that you guys jump into the show for. We mentioned in our last recording that we would be doing a KSP1 special. We have decided not to do that this time around because Red could not make it. We definitely want to have him available with us if possible. So we'll wait and see if he's available for well, maybe not next week because, Matoro is traveling and we don't know what that's going to look like. If he's not available next week or the week after, recording after, then, we'll obviously delay it until we can or work it out with him when we're going to do that. So as a result of that, I'm going to preempt with a little bit of an incentive to check out that episode when it occurs. Guys, one of my absolute favorite things that I have done in Kerbal Space Program over the years, not related to landing on other planets, is actually building craft. Like actually engineering craft. And I don't mean just building general rockets and all of that. I mean recreating science fiction ships because I am a science fiction tragic.
You? No.
I know, right? It's fine. Don't even worry about it. So my intention is to have a nice little surprise for you all for that particular episode where there will be a link to a craft file for anyone to download for KSP1. And it will have, a bunch of things associated with it. I want to talk about it a little bit more later. It hasn't been decided exactly what's going to be in there, but I wanted to give you guys the heads up before we finish the episode tonight. I'm going to have a little bit more information for you. But there will be a list of mods in the show notes that are required for this. So yeah, definitely check out the show notes of this episode so that you can be prepared for that when the special lands.
Excellent.
I'll talk about it a little bit more later on, and you'll have an idea of where I'm going with this. So I pass it over to Aki for this next segment.
And you know what? I'm going to bloody talk about KSP1 and my progress within it this time before I do anything else.
Here we go. At long last.
It's finally
The
happening.
prophecy has come true.
I'm not even going to wait for our special KSP1 episode.
There we go. Do it, please.
I haven't actually played it since the last recording either. I haven't really been to the computer at all. I'm going through a huge readjustment in my house, and it's taken up all of my time, and I want to do it. So, but I can tell you where I have got to, and I've got over 110 mods in my KSP1 save.
Only a
I
few.
think I might. Yeah, I think I might be up to 113. And you know what? There are very few of them are part mods. Most of them are background mods. Things like Kerbal Construction Time and whatnot. And the last thing I was
you
doing.
and I differ, so it's going to be a fun conversation in the special.
Yes, yeah. I'll talk more about it then.
Mm-hmm.
So I did when I talked about this last time, Lucy. I did say I was going to restart my KSP1 save and even threaten to perhaps stream it, which is all of that's on the back burner at the moment. But it's certainly not out of the realms of possibility. And I think I will restart the save. But where I'm up to is I was doing a lot of planes and trying to break the Mach 2. You know those. What are they called? First like the milestones, like the first world milestones or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know what ones you're talking about.
breaking the Mach 1, breaking the sound barrier, which I managed to do with the Wheezy engine. And so
The Wheezy,
the Wheezy
amazing.
engine.
Amazing.
What did you do? Did you like take the smallest fuel tank, like put the engine on it, and put one of those just chairs?
Pretty much. It looked like an old MiG actually, the design of the plane.
Amazing.
But it got to Mach 1, and then you get the Mach 2, then don't you? So you've broken Mach 1, and the next thing obviously is to do Mach 2, which the Wheezy engine can't do. It's not powerful enough. I think the most I got out of it was in a dive. I think got 1.8. Mach 1.8.
Full on. Okay.
But that was a single engine Wheezy. So I then, the obvious thing to do is put more engines on it.
Right.
So
right.
it doesn't actually work like that. The only thing it really does is get you up to that speed a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Having more engines. So, so for anyone playing KSP1, spoiler alert, you can't break Mach 2 with a Wheezy engine. And maybe I've just started a challenge. I don't know. But I flew, because you fly at different altitudes, don't you? Because the higher you go, the less air resistance there is. Go on, Mator.
Should we just come up with our own weekly community challenges? Since you said that.
Now we're talking.
You got to break Mach 2 with a Wheezy.
Do it. Send us screenshots.
So much rage.
Sorry, carry on. It just I was like, I have to say this.
I gotta say, I would love to see if someone can do that.
I would do
break Mach 2 with a Wheezy.
Yep, breaking Mach 2 with a Wheezy. But I will point out that that doesn't you're not stuck on Kerbin, right? Like that's not part of the rule. There are ways around this.
Now you're thinking with portals.
Yeah. So I leave it to all of you to do that.
Because I was flying at different altitudes to try, because the higher you go, the less wind air resistance you've got, so the less drag you got. So you could go faster, but then of course the higher you go, the less air there is for the engine to burn. So I can't remember what the optimal altitude was now, but I'd flown quite a distance from the KSC at this point. So I turned the plane around and started heading back, and it was sat at whatever altitude it was. I think the Wheezy struggles above 10 kilometers in altitude, so I probably comfortably sat around 7-8 kilometers, and I was just sat there watching it, because there's not a lot you can do, is there? I normally watch Twitch or something while I'm doing plane stuff in KSP, and I sat there watching the plane. All of a sudden the tail plane just went or the tail fin just flew off.
Oh
Wow.
It disappeared. But the plane was perfectly happy.
So the back fell
and
off.
stable. The back fell off.
The back fell off, correct, yes.
The back fell off. It still had its tail plane, it was just missing its tail fin. Obviously, the speed that I was going was creating a bit too much drag and just stressed it and ripped it off.
Or wait,
But
is that the front falling off the fin?
Actually, yeah, I'm looking at it the wrong way. The fin's absolutely fine. It's the rest of the plane that's in trouble.
Sorry,
That's a
carry
positive
on.
way of thinking. Yeah. But the plane was sat happily, perfectly stable. So I thought, I'm not going to worry about that. We'll deal with that when we get back to the Kerbal Space Center. Because I've got Kerbal construction time. So you reuse the same aircraft over and over again. It's one of the good features about it. And anyway, I got up, went for a whiz, and I came back, and the tailplane had fallen off now. So the plane was just sort of, I don't know, falling. Well, it's just falling out the sky because it's got no rear stability. So, but I managed to, I turned on I made the plane nose heavy, as it should have been anyway, and I activated all the remaining control surfaces. So everything was a control surface that was a control surface, whereas before they'd all done independent things. And I managed to sort of very clumsily get the plane back to the Kerbal Space Center. Did not land it. We had to jump out. It was Val, actually, that was in the pilot seat. So she jumped out and parachuted to safety rather than try and land a plane with no tailplane at all. And the plane promptly hit the deck and exploded. But there's still parts of it there, which I've kept. There's debris.
Mementos.
They're still there as a reminder. Yeah. So the message is the Wheezy won't go to Mach 2, and don't forget to strut the tailplane. Auto strut the tailplane.
Don't forget your space tape.
Because it will fall off. Don't forget your space tape. Exactly.
Correct.
But I have since broken the sound. Broken Mach 2 with, I think it's the Panther engine, isn't it? The next one. We got the afterburner. Panther, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it went a lot more than Mach 2 as well, if I remember rightly. But yes, that was my latest crazy adventure. And do you remember the engine pre-cooler?
Oh yeah, that's a weird part.
Oh wow!
It is a weird part. I thought that its job was to get more air into the engine. I don't think that's true. I had to Google it a little bit, but the engine pre-cooler just stops the engine overheat, or helps stop the engine overheat. So if you're running max chat with the engines, you get the temperature bars start coming up, where they get hotter and hotter, especially as you go faster and you get atmospheric friction. So a pre-cooler will bring the engine temperature down. So it will delay its... And that's what the pre-cooler does. I mean, the clue's in the name, really. Engine pre-cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it does have an intake, so it allows extra air in, and it also acts as a fuel pod as well. But I normally drain the fuel out because, I don't know, having it as a fuel tank just seems a bit cheaty to me. And I also tried Ferrum Aerospace Research to see what difference that makes and whether it was really necessary. Whatever it does, it changes the game a lot, including the names of all the different things as well. So it's one of those mods now that when you put it in, you have to sort of learn it and understand it before it makes much sense. So I've removed it for now, but I think I might give it a bit. If I get a bit of time, I might understand it better. But it does change the game quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's my KSP1 up to date. So yeah, auto strut your tailplane and your wings.
There's a life lesson there. Always remember to auto strut your tailplane.
Do you know what else has auto struts? To be honest, I don't know whether it does, but KSP2 might.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does it? I think they're trying to avoid it, and I'm getting ahead of myself really. But we might as well talk about it. So, have you got any KSP1 before we move on to KSP2, Mator? I should invite.
I have not touched it in many moons.
Okay. So KSP2, I was going to start with something else, but we'll start with that auto strut, which they're trying to avoid. Wobbly rockets are getting attention. That's really the latest with KSP2 stuff, which would be good because the wobbly rockets do need attention. You shouldn't be vertically strutting fuel tanks together.
That should not be a thing.
That should not be a thing. So they are addressing that. But the biggest news for KSP2, the sphere of influence bug has just been fixed.
Hey!
Cool.
Hooray!
They released another hotfix, version 0.1.3.2. Blue and egg. Yeah, sphere of influence bug is now fixed.
Good to see them finally working on the foundation of the game.
Still.
Like, I don't want to be harsh, but this should never have been a thing to begin with.
Yeah. Look,
No, we talked about it to death now, though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't want to beat a dead horse. There's already enough blue around here. But anyway, carrying on.
The other thing that's happened recently, since our last recording, is the NES AMA. Ask me anything. KSP TV.
Oh, yes.
KSP TV stream came back up. It's the first KSP TV stream in a very, very, very long time.
It's nice
and
to
so
see.
far, it's been the only one since.
It's nice to see that channel not be such a rotting carcass anymore.
Yeah. It's been
Good
put back to use.
times.
And
I
they
miss
promised,
KSP TV. It's where
Something
we all
tells me it won't
met.
be quite the same. It is where we all met. This was what this podcast was born from as well, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. But we'll save that for our KSP1 episode.
that's a good idea.
Yes. The so in the AMA, there's about an hour's worth of content on there, and they talked mostly about the development of KSP2 so far. There were some reveals, but nothing major, and a lot of it actually by now we've seen it all, but even then they'd already teased a lot of the stuff that they talked about. But if you're interested in knowing the artwork side of things and the development of it and how they got there, or how they've got this far so far, it's still up on KSP TV to watch back.
I think the best way to sum up that AMA was they said a lot without saying much.
Yeah. You need to be. Yeah, there was a little bit of what will happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
There were some good little bits of information, but really, it's about what they've done.
Yep.
And how they've done it.
And there's
Not
nothing
what
wrong
they're
with
going
that.
to do. No. It's
a
just
good. It's a good catch up for anybody that may be out of the loop. So.
It is, yeah. It's just to make the point that if you're after, all the hot stuff, you won't find it in there.
Exactly.
That's not what that's about. Okay, so this is really the meat of what I want to talk about in KSP2 in this episode. I wondered what the hell that was there.
Someone's been playing Diablo. Oh, fresh meat.
Anyway, carrying on. Go ahead, Aki. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Okay, so one of the more recent dev updates in the forums talks about the science update. And what they've told us so far, an all-new science collection and transmission system. So hopefully in the science update, we will see the signal network, ComNet, I think they called it, didn't they, in KSP1?
Mm-hmm.
So something akin to that will come in with the science update. I'm
Looking
hoping.
forward to that.
It needs to, really, because you've got to... If you can't transmit the science back, you've got to bring the science back with a Kerbal. So we should see the signal network system come along with the science update.
I'm a bit out of the loop. So they're in effect bringing in ComNet with the science then, by the sound of that.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess they'd kind of have to,
It
unless
makes sense.
we get it. Yeah. And also we'll see the biomes hopefully.
Okay.
Come in with the science again, which you need for the science update, don't you? You need to be able to send your science, and you need. I mean, I can't really remember the roadmap of KSP1 and how the science came in.
I don't know if there was a roadmap.
ComNet, well, true, but
ComNet was a late thing.
It was, and I think biomes was as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say that was more toward the midpoint. Like,
I think that was KSP 1.0.
But it wasn't.
We'd have to look that up.
Because if it was released in 1.0, then it's fine. But it was installed in bits, wasn't it? The full science.
Yeah, the full science didn't
there.
come straight out the gate in one patch.
No,
was bit by
But I
bit.
think in KSP2, it looks like this is what they're going to do. You're going to get the full science
With regard
straight onto your lap.
With regard to the biomes in KSP1, remember they did that like version 1 of them, and then changed them a little later, just like fleshing them out.
They did, didn't they? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They refined them.
Mm-hmm. I'm with Digi. I think it was like around 1.0, if not in the
It might have been
beta
0.90.
I think
0.90.
So that sounds right.
There we go.
Science came
Biomes
before
with
Korea,
version.
didn't it?
Well, this is straight off the wiki. With version 0.90, biomes were added to all
Okay.
celestial bodies, which have a solid surface which accepts Joule and the Sun. Before
makes
that,
sense.
only the Kerbin system, Kerbin, the Mun, and Minmus had biomes.
Okay.
So there was a little bit beforehand in 0.25, but yeah, 0.90 is where it all kicked off.
Okay.
Cool. So, but in this instance for KSP2, it looks. Do you know what? I'm not going to say it. I was going to say it looks like we're going to get the full lot in one go, but actually, there's nothing to say. They're listing here what's going to be included in the science update. That doesn't mean we're going to get it all in one go.
I mean, it's all speculation at this point.
So yeah, all I'm doing now is speculating, isn't it? I don't want to mislead. So it says, yeah, the all-new science collection and transmission system. To me, that says signal relay networks, along with the assignment of science biomes to all celestial bodies.
Now, I know this is a little speculatory. What's the word there?
Speculatory.
Speculatory. Yes. Thank you. So, speculationary Terry, and something like that.
Good on you, Terry.
Thank you. So this is a little speculatory, but I could see that going either way. Because remember, before we had ComNet, it was just straight up just transmit and it goes. I could see that being the case too.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no
like I could see this being just setting up the transmission system. Maybe not a full-on ComNet.
Actually, just to go back, that's something I've been struggling with in KSP1, is understanding the ComNet system, because you can do, you got omnidirectional and direct antennas, but then you have, I can't remember what they call them, but they're antennas or they're relays, and the relays bounce the signal around, and you have to be within their range. Because what I did, go on, Mator.
Do you have the mod Antenna Helper?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And it's wonderful.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Because I turned off the ground network stations,
Oh.
which is severe punishment.
Yeah.
Because the initial relay dishes you get are not very powerful. You need a few of them just to get around Kerbin, let alone to the moon. So without the ground stations, your range is extremely limited, and it's actually quite punishing. So so with all of that, but with the KSP1 as well, your omnidirectional antennas, or all the antennas in general, if you pair them up or put them in 3s or 4s, you can, I mean, the graph falls off as the more you put on, but you can increase the range of them by adding more.
There's a sweet spot.
Yeah, there is. And now if we see that in KSP2, I'm sure we will, but the point you're making, Mator, isn't it, that you might not get that straight away.
Right.
You have an antenna, it transmits data, it'll use a bit of power to do it, and that's it. Whereas as KSP1, where it is, and the development of KSP2, I'm sure that will change as the development goes on, that they will be limited range, limited power, you can combine them, you'll need relays. Oh, direct, that was it. Direct and relay. They're the two types of antenna. Okay.
I could see the ComNet going the same direction as Kerbal One, because honestly it's a good system. It could be better, but it's a good system as it is.
Yeah, I expect it to be the same in KSP2.
I just hope it's a little more user friendly.
Yeah, that's the thing, because in KSP1 it's all measured in meters. The range is measured in meters. When you're starting to get big numbers, they don't mean anything.
Yep.
And if you use the mod Antenna Helper, it puts a visual indication of their range. And I think in the description it gives you an idea of how far the range goes. So this antenna is good to go to the moon and Minmus. This antenna is good for Juno and Dres, etc.
It'll give you the percentages on connection at certain points in the orbits.
Yes. Now, if they put something like Antenna Helper in KSP2, that will be a fantastic addition.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's needed. I think it's needed, really, to make it more fun. Okay. The other point, a new mission system that provides compelling player goals and tracks flight events to determine the achievement of those goals, along with the activation of the mission control building to access those functions.
Okay.
I wonder if that's kind of like a Final Frontier type thing.
I would like that built in. Just something to, because, I mean, in stock Kerbal, you don't get much aside from their level up system.
Yes. And the Final Frontier, for those that are unfamiliar, is a mod in KSP1 that actually gives you visual badges to reward individual Kerbals on their achievements.
Yep.
First to fly, first to break the sound barrier, first to get to orbit, first to land a Minimus Junior, blah, blah, blah. Which is fun. It's nice because it gives the Kerbal more of a personality, I think, as well. And it makes certain Kerbals more valuable. If they've achieved a lot, they become national icons, if you like. National treasures, even.
It's all about what you make of it.
Okay, the next point.
I don't want to kill Val. Val's got like 20 achievements against her name.
Yeah. Yeah, with some Bill, he's only got one.
Yeah. Sacrificial Bill.
You come back from this, Bill, you're a national treasure.
Okay, all right.
Before that, good luck.
If you don't come back from this, don't come back at all.
I just gotta pull this out just because you say that. Oh wait, no, is it Bob? No, oh, it's Bob.
It's Bob. It's Bob. Oh well, Bob.
My camera that got whacked
dead.
at Starship is Bob. I thought it was Bill.
There you go.
Anyway, carry on.
Yes, that camera is, that's got history now. It's a national treasure.
Oh yeah.
New science parts that are distinctive enough from one another that they provide interesting vehicle design choices to the player. And they're starting to tease these science parts now, and they do look good. Every single one of them moves in some way.
I saw like the magnetometer boom one. It looks pretty.
Yeah, it does. Because that is something that KSP1 lacked massively, was science parts. I know that Breaking Ground expansion addressed some of that, but that was more for the Kerbals. It gave more for the Kerbals to do, which was great. But the space probes do lack a lot of science parts. And I'm seeing that again, playing through KSP1 at the moment. I'm seeing that. I'm 3 years into the game now, I think. And I only have the thermometer, the barometer, and the Science Junior. They're the only 3 ones I have. Oh, and Mystery Goo. But I know
who doesn't have Mystery Goo?
Everyone's got Mystery Goo. But I know there's not enough. I don't think I think there's 4 main science parts, isn't there? The thermometer, barometer, the gravioli, do they call it? Yeah. And
gravioli, give me the formioli.
What's the 4th one? Doesn't matter, but I think there's only 4.
The accelerometer.
Accelerometer, thank you.
Or seismometer. It's something like that.
Seismometers and Breaking Ground. Whatever it is, there's only 4. Anyway, they need more. So hopefully this KSP2 will address this. An all-new tech tree that provides an interesting part progression that will later expand to accommodate the arrival of future interstellar grade and colony parts.
Okay.
But yeah, great. Tech tree. Yeah, there'll be another tech tree.
I hope it makes more sense than Kerbal 1.
Do you know what? I don't know. Yeah.
Look, we pick on more than just Kerbal 2, everybody. We're picking on Kerbal 1 too, as well.
Even though Kerbal 1 is fantastic.
It is. It is.
It's still the tech tree progression. I get why they do Kerbals before probes, but I really need probes before Kerbals.
Yes, please.
Personally, I want to fly the planes first before I go to space as well. And you can get to the moon, but you can't fly in your own atmosphere. Yeah. So
please, Digi. We know you like flying more than planes.
I wonder if a nice thing to have here would be a menu, a toggleable option or a drop-down menu at the beginning where you can set a particular progression.
That would be nice.
So that would be nice, wouldn't it? So you could have probes before planes, or Kerbals before probes, or switch it around to how you want, and so the tech tree is dynamic and accommodates that as an initial setting. I think that would be a nice addition.
It would be a nice addition to actually have like a time frame based on real error in real life. Like you could start everything at the 1940s or you could start it at the 1970s or the 1990s or whatever the case, and just set it up so that it's like that. And that would be different eras of equipment, different eras of, what's set up. Like there might already be a sat network up there,
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
That would be a really cool approach.
I like that idea.
Provide those sort of options.
Yes.
Just further expanding on your idea there.
Do you know what one of my top hopes for KSP2 is, though? Especially with the interstellar travel and all that, is that parts age and degrade. The paint wears off over time.
That'd be a cool little visual intrigue, wouldn't it?
That's something I always wanted for KSP1. But if you've got a space probe that's gone beyond ELU or whatever, by the time it's gone beyond there, it's got some micrometeorite strikes. The paint has flaked off. Things are looking a bit tired.
Yeah.
It's like what they say about the Tesla that is, somewhere in solar orbit.
All right.
Like because of the solar radiation, they reckon that it wouldn't have any paint left on it.
Well, they think that about the flags, don't they? That the Americans put on the moon. That they'd be
bleached.
USA, USA.
They're just a load of surrender flags now.
Have you been to the moon? No, thought so.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, so I will not take this personally.
Getting fired up, right? Yeah. We launch rockets now.
Aging of parts would be a fantastic feature, and it's perfectly possible because plenty of games do it.
Yeah.
And working off that, it would actually be kind of cool to see the flags fade to white as well.
That would be cool as well.
Or at least degrades to somewhat, to degrade to some extent. So if they do just become tattered and partly worn out, but you'll always be able to see kind of what was on there.
Like a shadow of it,
as vivid. Yeah.
I like this idea.
Yeah.
We should create the KSP2 wish list. These are the things that we want.
Yeah, that we'd like to. I think we did that in an early episode.
Probably.
Of our KSP2. Yeah. But hold on to your pants, because I think we do have a problem. I think we need. I don't know if it'll be version 0.1.3.3 or a version 0.1.4, but we need atmospheric heating.
Yes.
In KSP2 before science mode, because I don't see much of a challenge occurring to get to E, for instance, and deal with the atmosphere of that, or Kerbin re-entry if there's no atmospheric heating. So I think it either needs to arrive with the science update, or they need another hotfix. Or update.
Pun intended
patch,
there, right?
Patch. Aha. Yes. That's why I did it.
Yep. Very good. I look. I think there's a comment in the chat right now from Jim saying, well, to be fair, I think we want the rest of the stuff that was supposed to be in the game. I get that, but I think what my thought path is, they're talking about adding a lot of extra components to the game. They've got a development schedule that's in mind. It's like, well, these are the things that we'd like to see. That we think would make those things have punch and have impact. The things that the biggest talking point about KSP2 is the visual upgrade. Cool, that's great. Take it to the nth degree. Like, take it beyond and make sure that it is the visual spectacle that it can be. Have those little extra things that separate it.
And this is to go even further beyond.
No. Look, it if you want it to be a visual masterpiece, make sure you make it a visual masterpiece, and then maybe we'll get off your back a little. You know, we'll let you have that little bit of extra time that's worthwhile. Not to be that guy. Big Green, get in here. Thank you. Adventure Kids got it. That's great. Yeah. Don't take his coat. I'm going to be that guy that's going to bring up the comparison between KSP2 and Icarus.
Before we get to that, whatever they do, I just want to say it's important that they don't let feature creep happen.
Correct. Don't let that happen.
Have a focus on each and every update.
Mm-hmm.
And stick to that focus.
And I think that's really important. That's really important when I bring up Icarus, because Icarus released a AAA priced game that was made using basic assets from the Unreal Engine. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was abysmal, an absolutely abysmal release. I'm sure there were reasons for it, and look, I have heard that there are reasons for it, and that's fine. But the difference is between the way they've handled it and the way that Private Division have handled KSP2 is that the guys making Icarus have released an update every single week.
Well,
a hot fix, a bug fix, new assets, new this, new that, mechanics changed, etc., etc., etc. Every single week, there's an update.
This is kind of this is what I want to talk about as well, because No Man's Sky and Space Engineers are the same. You know, Space Engineers were releasing about 10 updates a month. You can go to the Steam and see the history of them. No Man's Sky, you know, it released a load of updates. Well, not even updates. Don't call them updates. They're patches or hot fixes. But then periodic. I think No Man's Sky, when KSP2 was released to where it is now, No Man's Sky had done loads of updates, hot fixes, and by now it had done its first update.
Mm-hmm.
And KSP2, we've had... What have we had? How many updates have we had now?
4?
2?
3 or 4?
3, a few. Less than 5 updates we've had. And it's been, 8 months now?
Since February, I thought?
6 months?
Yeah, because it happened while I was out of
5
town
months.
for Crew 6. So, yeah, it was...
5 months. 5 months. And I thought that only had 2 major updates. I don't know.
Well, major ones,
Keep
yeah.
going.
Yeah, it was 1.0, yeah. So it's only had a couple of major updates and a few hot fixes. Now, I wonder if that's partly the reason for the public losing interest, because the updates are so infrequent. Now, given that when they do an update or a patch, let's call them patches. When they do a patch,
doo-doo.
it is a doo-doo.
I'm sorry.
We're children. It's great.
I'm sorry.
When they do patch, they there's a lot of fixes in there. You know, there is a lot going on in there. I'll give them that. But I wonder if instead of waiting and doing these major patches, doo-doo patch, when they do these, I can't even say it now. When they do, right, forget patch. When they do the patch.
Doo-doo.
No, my train of thought's gone.
My face hurts.
I wonder if a lot more frequent patches would serve them better than waiting for weeks at a time and then dumping a massive update down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a developer, but with the more frequent updates, whether it would serve them better, because I think people pay a lot more attention to it all, and because you don't have to Google much now, whereas KSP2 is being compared to No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky just kept on update, constant, whereas we're not seeing that with KSP2. And YouTubers and that are stopping KSP2 content because people have lost that much they've lost that much interest that people aren't going to the channels to watch these things.
Yeah.
When it comes to KSP2. And I've said it before, but we're seeing something similar with our podcast as well. The interest in KSP2 is nowhere near as much as it was when we were doing KSP1.
Yeah.
People just are not interested. And again, we said it before, we go to Twitch. You go to Twitch, people still play KSP1. Not many, but there's still interest there on the Twitch channel.
I mean, it's
KSP2,
a 14-year-old game, so...
Yeah, and it's a 14-year-old game. Yeah.
Something like that.
KSP1 has been around.
2000... What was it? What year was it? Hold on. I just had this open.
I am going to point out that the first update for KSP2 was 13th of March, 17th of March. Then there was one on the 13th of April, and then there was one on the 23rd of June. Apart from that, there's been a couple of little hot fixes, but those have been the 3 updates that have been done, apart from those little hot fixes.
12 years and
Since
1 month.
February. 12 years and 1 month.
The first public version was digitally released on Squad's Kerbal Space Program storefront on the 24th of June, 2011.
There you go.
Okay, Jim's disagreeing with my statement about the No Man's Sky comparison as well. I think I meant the Space Engineers with the update. The No Man's Sky comparison is the disappointment that was felt after its release. But then No Man's Sky was a 1.0 release, so people had more of a right to be disappointed with No Man's Sky than they did with KSP2, which is obviously early access.
I mean, look, early access is early access. We get it. We get it. But considering how long KSP1 was in early access, pretty much the majority of the game was in early access. So, you know, I would say arguably the experience should be the same.
Yeah, I'm not. This isn't me knocking on KSP2. I know we have been doing that a lot, and I didn't want to be negative about KSP2 this time.
And again, I just want to interject real quick. It's not that we hate the game. It's because we care this much about it being good.
Yeah. The only point I wanted to raise.
And to be fair, this conversation has gone on for 7 minutes.
Yes.
So only 7 minutes this episode. Yeah, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
But I just wondered if you thought it would be better for them to release lots of small updates rather than frequent small updates rather than wait for these long periods of time for a big update.
My opinion is frequent small updates doing the hot fixes to those bugs that people are calling out.
Yep.
Do that.
I agree.
Especially these major bugs like the soy, for instance, deservedly had its own hotfix. More of that.
Wobbly rockets. Cool.
It drums interest.
Release a hotfix. Done. Like,
1, it drums interest. 2, it improves the game. 3, it is good PR.
Yes.
Because it shows you're listening. Because arguments could be made that you're not.
Like, you want people to play this game to help you improve it? Give us reason to play it.
Yeah, knock those bugs out. Hot fixes.
Yep.
More hot fixes. And but in the AMA actually, they did assure us that they do read and listen to everything.
Hey, look, if they listen to us, that's cool. That's cool. I hope they understand that we love that you're making the effort to make this game. Our personal opinions are that you could perhaps approach things slightly differently. And we can think of a mountain of reasons why. If you want some help with PR, I will help you. You can reach out to me at, dickhead@dickhead.com. Like, I am just, armchair commentator here. But from a PR aspect, my God, like there's plenty of feedback we could give you.
From a PR aspect, don't you intimately know another company that may have made a certain Kerbal Space Program 1 that used to be a PR company?
Funnily enough, there are angles that can be taken to solve this, guys. Enough of that. Enough of the attempt at fake subtlety.
Right.
You know, we're about as subtle as an I-beam. Forget the 2x4. We're a full I-beam.
And you know what else? You know what? That's as subtle as this segue that we're about to take.
There we go.
I'm waiting for it.
'Cause, we've been hanging around in the Kerbal section for a little bit here.
You know what doesn't rhyme with I-beam? Segway.
Segway. Not the thing with 2 wheels.
Yeah. Or a Segu.
But it is time.
Jeez.
Why was that so
demonic
muffled?
train? That was the demonic train.
There you go.
Here we go.
I'm just going to read Jim's comment before
Yes,
we close
go
out.
for it.
Yeah. Jim says, frequent fixes are nice, but I do sympathise with the extra work it takes to do releases.
I
The other
do
side
understand
of the
it
coin
from that
is
side.
that the farther ahead the code gets from releases, the more work it can be, the more work it can be to do. The more work it is if not everything works perfectly.
Yeah.
Get it. Respect it. Totally agree. Major releases are one thing. Hot fixes to game-breaking bugs is another.
Yeah.
I got a bit stumbled in the words there because it looked like he was trying to get me to say doo-doo again. It's just, it can be to do. There we go.
Do not
Excellent
choo-choo.
work, Jim. But on that note, I think it's
Talking
time
of doo-doos.
I think we do move on to the real space section. Yes.
I was waiting for the train whistle. Yes,
Oh,
sorry.
I already did the. Okay, fine.
I know.
Oh,
But I was just.
It's
that
the
better?
choo-choo. Goes with the doo-doo.
So I don't have much for real space news. I have been slacking on putting things on my notes here, but hey, there might be a Falcon Heavy next weekend. I don't know. SpaceX has been radio silent as hell. Beats me. I don't know. We'll see. It's 9 days away. Wait, is it 9 days away? Hold on. I got my countdown. What is it? It is 8 days, 2 hours, and 32 minutes away. I don't know if it's happening or not. I really don't. We'll see. But if it does, it will be the first dual drone ship landing Falcon Heavy, even though there are rumors this thing's probably might be moving to dual RTLS, which really I wouldn't complain with, but if it goes to dual drone ship, that would be cool too. Or it sticks to dual drone ship, because we've never seen that before. And that would be really neat to see. Even if it's in the middle of the night. But that's on the SpaceX side of things. On the ULA side of things, the Vulcan Stage 2 issues have been figured out, and the resolutions are in progress. Tori Bruno did a conference call the other day and spoke to... I should have pulled it up so I could reference it, but he spoke to the issues that they found. It was a leak formed at the top of the Vulcan Centaur. It's the Stage 2. For the Vulcan rocket. So it formed at the top of that during testing, happened for about 4 minutes, and then it found an ignition source and it went in a violent manner. Wait. Okay. It went. It went.
Echo and everything.
Yeah. But so
Everything
far.
sounds better with echo.
It does, doesn't it? But yeah, right now they are in the process of, I believe, if I read it right, they are swapping out the Stage 1 Centaur 5 with one that is currently in production right now. Sorry, Cert 1 Centaur 5, which was built for the first flight, with the one that is built for Flight 3, I believe. I'll go back and double check this and come back to it in the next episode if I remember. But it is being built with the modifications needed to protect against the...
Against the pop.
Against the pop.
The pop. That's what it's officially called now. It's called the pop.
Just the...
Yeah, in the edit, I'm going to replace that with a fart noise. You know that.
Excellent.
Yeah, great.
Excellent.
Cool. That's going to work really well in the video version.
Oh my god. But yes, Vulcan is progressing. Right now, it sounds like everything is progressing for a fourth quarter launch, debut launch for Vulcan. So exciting times are ahead. And then my last thing here is Virgin Galactic finally did their first commercial flight successfully. So cool. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
I thought that had died, so it was good to see that come back. It gone quiet for a very, very long. The limelight might have just been taken.
Virgin
by
Orbit
SpaceX
died.
Oh, okay. So something did die.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, Virgin Galactic, right? Like, how much are the tickets for that?
I think that was. Hang on. I know two numbers. How much was the Titan ticket? That was $250, right?
$250.
So it's 400,000 or something along those lines for Virgin Orbit, or sorry, Galactic.
Cool. I'll have 3.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. Oh well, look, okay. $450,000 was the price in 2022.
Right.
I've just looked it up. Pricing, right? Looking at their brochure, there is an asterisk that includes $125,000 fully refundable deposit plus $25,000 non-refundable future astronaut community access fee. What?
Okay.
What?
Plus the $50,000 admin fee.
Yeah, right?
Jim did remind me of something that happened as well. Thank you for bringing this up, Jim, because, yes, Blue Origin did end up losing a BE-4 during testing, but according to Tori Bruno, that's not going to impact Vulcan, so... And Blue already knows what happened, and they're working on fixes for it, so it seems like everything's good to go there.
What's a BE-4?
That is the BE-4 engine. It is their Methalox engine.
Okay.
And since we're on the topic of engines going,
it'll never stop being funny.
JAXA actually lost one of their, I believe it was an SRB during testing. It was quite violent. I don't know all the names and terminology for that one, but it was, they lost it in testing yesterday. So that was not good for them.
No.
However, if we're going to let's go ahead and flip the script here. We'll take this over to the ISRO side of things. They successfully launched their I don't even know how to pronounce it. Hang on, let me see
if there's a phonetic.
Hang on. It
was
is it the Chandrayaan?
Yes, Chandrayaan 3. So
Chandrayaan 3.
Yes, thank you. They successfully launched that just what day was that? On the 14th of July. So yesterday. Was that yesterday? My entire sleep schedule and concept of time is thrown off. I woke up at 4 a.m. yesterday on my own without alarms, and I went to bed at 2 a.m. So I don't know what time it is. But anyway,
that's ridiculous nonsense.
That's a terrible idea.
But
jeez,
yes,
why would you ever do that? Are you sick?
But yes, Chandrayaan 3 took off yesterday from India, and it is carrying the lander and rover, and it will hopefully land in the in the southern polar region on the moon on the 23rd of August. So nice. Exciting times are coming.
Yeah. That's gonna be real interesting.
And that all of what I've just said is a very boiled down, condensed version of what's happened in the last 3 weeks and what's coming. But
yeah.
That's about what I had to talk about. Who wanted to talk about OSIRIS-Rex here?
Well, I've got something to mention before that, actually.
Oh, you do? Go for it.
So in a couple of weeks' time, there's this big function going on, and it's a fancy dress. And the theme is 70s, 80s, or 90s. And the mate that I'm going with, he came round earlier. And we wanted to do something as a duo, you know. So we come up with lots of ideas. I think that, you know, Mario and Luigi, Picard and Riker, you know, a few little things like that. And then come up with the most amazing idea that we're going to go as Voyager 1 and Voyager 2.
Excellent.
Say, if you go as Vija, that's hilarious.
But every time we go to the bar, we've got to get a gravity assist off someone. So we've got to... There's some little rules we're making up. We've got to fly by someone and slingshot off. Yeah.
I love it.
We'll be making some suits or some costumes soon.
Wonderful.
Obviously, the big satellite dish on the chest, but we're definitely going to have the golden record stuck to our hip as well. Got to have a golden record on there. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
As long as you throw in the one little bit of reference to you know, scratch some of the paint off Voyager 1's name, so it becomes Vija.
Vija. Yeah.
Now it's 2 references in one.
Does that mean we have to do a 20-minute, very slow and painful entrance?
Oh, a camera pan, over the top of your heads. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the longest sequences. Yeah.
Like, I shit you not, the actual model for that is like 14 meters long.
Is it?
Yeah,
Wow.
It was huge. There you go. Pointless Star Trek facts. The model for that is huge.
Okay, this is where I say I've never seen this film.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh,
If you want an opportunity to sit down and just let your brain bake, seriously, just watch that sequence.
Okay.
For 20 minutes.
all right. Noted.
Because it's nothing but expressions of awe and terror while panning over the top of a starship model.
It's the stay awake challenge.
It's
You've
the
done
new
well.
Tide Pods, kids.
Oh. So on that note, OSIRIS-Rex
Sorry, OSIRIS-Rex.
or OSIRIS-APEX?
Well, indeed. So, actually, it's a good time to mention it. So, in 2 months, in September of this year, the asteroid sample returns. That was a terrible delivery.
It will
But
be
yes.
returning from the asteroid Bennu.
Bennu, yes. And we'll receive that. Well, NASA will receive that sample return in September, so a couple of months' time. But after that, OSIRIS-Rex is being redirected to another asteroid called Apophis. And OSIRIS-Rex will cease to become OSIRIS-Rex and become OSIRIS-APEX. So here we go for acronyms, which I blimmin' hate. So OSIRIS-Rex stands for Origins, Spectral Interpretation, Resource Identification, Security, Regolith, Explorer. That's the acronym for OSIRIS-Rex. And round of applause to whoever came up with that and put all that together, yeah. So, and it will become Origins, Spectral Interpretation, Resource Identification, Security, Apophis Explorer. And the mission will be to go to this asteroid called Apophis, which is going to pass close to Earth on the 13th of April 2029. And it will orbit it for about 18 months. It's used up its sample return. So what they're going to do instead is get close to the asteroid and kick up or rummage around rummage its dust up using its thrusters. Well, they use better terminology, using its thrusters to disturb Apophis's surface in order to expose the spectrally study. In order to expose and spectrally study the subsurface and the material beneath it. So OSIRIS-Rex will become OSIRIS-APEX, and it's got a mission extension which was approved last year.
Wonderful.
That's it. I thought it was quite interesting.
Nice
We've kind of forgotten about OSIRIS-Rex.
Well, it's just been doing its thing.
Journey. Yeah. It's just coming back to Earth.
But it's nice to see these missions get life extensions.
Yes, it is. And it'll do its its sample return, and then head off to Apophis. Yeah. It's like New Horizons. They're still looking for. New Horizons got another extension, and they're looking for another worthy target.
It's not much out there.
No, there's not. But there is. It's just trying to find it, and it's so sparse, isn't it? And there's only so much fuel left in the probe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using AI now. We mentioned before to help it find a new target.
Right.
Talking of AI.
Hello.
I don't know if you want to do this. Do you want to do this? Mator, you were muted. So a few episodes ago, we were talking about AI, and I had another addition to it, but we were waiting for Red, but obviously Red's been absent for the last couple, and it was someone used AI to generate a script for an Olive Garden advert. And I wondered about reading it out.
Is this going to be more painful than the next section, or is this...
Well, I can't be the judge of that, but it will probably be at least on par.
Oh, no.
Did we want to read it out, or did we just want to move on with the stuff we've already got to deal with in a minute?
Rip the Band-Aid off. We're going into the section of pain anyway.
Do it. Prepare your butts.
Okay. So this was a tweet, and it says, I forced a bot to watch over 1,000 hours of Olive Garden commercials, and then asked it to write an Olive Garden commercial of its own. Here is the first page.
Oh, boy.
Okay, it's proper script format. Internal, Olive Garden restaurant. A group of friends laugh at a dinner table. A waitress comes to deliver what could be considered food. Waitress. Pasta nachos for you? We see the pasta nachos. They're warm and defeated.
Warm and defeated?
Warm and defeated. Friend 1. The menu is here. Waitress. Lasagna wings with extra Italy. We see the lasagna wings. There's more Italy than necessary. Friend 2. I shall eat Italian citizens.
What?
Waitress. Unlimited stick. We see the unlimited stick. It is infinite. It is all. Friend 3. Leave without me, I'm home. Waitress. Gluten Classico from the kitchen.
Gluten Classico.
We, the Gluten Classico. We believe the waitress that it is from the kitchen. We have no reason not to believe. Friend 4 says nothing.
I relate with friend 4.
Friend 1. What is wrong, friend 4? Friend 4 says nothing.
I relate with friend 4.
Friend 2. Friend 4. What is wrong, friend 4? Was it friend 4? Friend 4 smiles wide. Her mouth is full of secret soup.
Oh my God.
Announcer. Wet voice. Olive Garden. When you're here, you're here. The end.
Oh my God.
The end.
So those that are worried about AI taking over script writing, I think
Yeah.
you're right at the moment. You're right at the moment.
This is why you pay your writers.
Correct. Correct. And your actors, for that matter.
Yes. I thought that was a bit of fun just to wrap up the whole AI thing that we've
Mate.
kind of been doing for.
Mate, I'm just about to straight face some science questions, and you've made me cry already. Oh, this was not how I was expecting today's podcast to go.
Making
No.
Digi cry. Well, that's an achievement because that's a segue to.
Do you know, Jim's just ruined all the fun in chat. Jim just killed it.
2018.
Jim says, I looked
Still
it up
funny,
and it goes
though.
back to 2018 and was written by a comedy author, so probably not actual AI. But yeah, still funny.
Still funny though. Amazing.
Like some of
Secret
Digi's
soup.
questions can be.
Sometimes.
Wait, not Red Ed? Red's not here. Where's the not? That's not Science Digi. There it is.
I like that train choo-choo. It was a good one. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we got double bumps at the moment because I'm still putting the that noise in that no one's worked out what it is yet, and then the train whistle. So it's the train whistle plus the bump that I put in.
Hey, look,
So we're
everybody,
double
everybody
bumping.
likes trains. Come on.
Look, there's a joke in that too. Guys, I got to ask, how much mass does one need to cultivate for the world to revolve around them? I believe there are Karens that want to know.
I have an answer to this, but it is not
least
something I
6
should say on this
times.
podcast. Ask me that again after the podcast.
All right, cool. Done. You've got a deal. If global warming is such a problem, can we fix it by getting everyone to open their fridges?
For 10 minutes a day.
Same as the
For 10
first.
minutes a day, yeah.
Everyone opens. Do you know, I read something, I don't know how true it is, but I want to believe it. And I think it was America, and I think there was a storm coming to America. So someone, probably as a joke, said, will everyone point the fans out of their window in a southerly direction and turn them on at this time of the day, and we'll push the storm away. And I think a lot of people did it.
You know what? This is because, true story, Florida actually had to put out a warning from people shooting guns into a hurricane to shoot the hurricane.
Yeah.
Because Florida.
Good old Florida.
It was probably Florida of the fans. It sounds about right.
I literally had to put out a warning. I've heard the warning, and oh god, this is actually a thing that happened. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, we could try it, couldn't we, for science? Open all the fridges.
Just for science, sure, why not?
Just for science.
I reckon, 10 minutes a day, see what happens. I mean, because energy is not a finite resource or anything. No, not at all. Guys, why does my raw chicken give me salmonella, but my raw salmon doesn't give me chickenella?
Nice. Well, how do you know
That's
you don't know what
good.
chickenella is? Chickenella
Hey?
can be a positive effect. Well, salmonella is a negative effect, isn't it, on the human body?
Do you think they would
Chickenella could be a
counteract each
positive.
other?
Try it. For science. No, actually don't. No, everyone, don't eat raw chicken. It's not, I don't want to be responsible.
This is not the new Tide Pods.
But did
No,
the
I've
salmon
had
buy the
salmonella.
chicken and the Nutella to put together?
Say again?
Chicken and Nutella? Oh my god, that sounds awful.
Chicken teller.
Well, you're the one
Chicken
asking
Nutella.
about salmon giving you chickenella.
Chickenella versus salmonella?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to get chickenella as well. That sounds worse. It sounds prehistoric.
If it's
like
chicken and
dinosaur
Nutella, yeah, it sounds awful.
version. Yeah. Guys, how fast is Godspeed?
I don't know. Ask SG1. They were told that enough.
Yep. All right. Cool. Why do meteors always land in craters? No.
Because so people can... No. No.
If the sun's gravity field keeps the planets in orbit, why don't they all fly off at night?
Jupiter pushes them back. Jupiter's like, no, Stay where you are.
Back.
Look, they all
back.
have their bedtime. They
Get
gotta
out
go
of
to
the
sleep.
kiln. Yes. Get out of the kiln. How can I make ketchup gas? I'm looking for a saucy alternative to mustard gas.
Oh, too soon.
All right, fine. We'll round it up. One last thing. How do people with 13-pound balls bowl so well?
Oh my god.
More mass, more momentum.
Exactly. Correct. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. These are the important science questions that we all must answer for society, because we live in a society.
Not because we must, but because we can.
Correct.
Pain.
I want to say something just because a Venture Kid brought it back, and it still makes me laugh now.
Oh.
Yes.
Even though AI gave us good Stevening.
Good Stevening. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but you know what? It's got nothing on what the internet gave us. Steven.
He's
Steve.
gotten back
Steve.
to that.
Steve.
Steve. Good Stevening. What does that work out to in volts and amps? The formula that explains why Steves resist saying good Stevening?
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to know it in volts and amps because resistance.
That's ohms.
Ohms, yes, correct,
Oh
yes.
my god, this is the perfect segue to our outro. Alan. Gentlemen, I think it's about
Hang on.
that time.
We need to work out a date and time where we all open our fridges. Can't move on until we've established this.
How about this? 12:34 on December 31st, 2023.
All right, done.
Let's do it.
10 minutes, let's do it.
UTC.
Yep, correct.
But wait, would that be 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3? 1 2 3 4? Or would that be the rest of your nonsense?
Yes, I see what
You're
you're
making
doing.
my brain hurt. Don't do that. Don't do that.
1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Guys, very
You're welcome.
quickly, before Mator starts talking about the outro, check the show notes. It'll have a nice little list of mods for you to install.
Yep.
For for at least one craft file. I'm going to try and get 2, but there will be at least one craft file prepped and ready to go for you all when we do our KSP1 episode. So yeah, there will be a mod list in the show notes.
Keep an eye out.
Fantastic.
Take a look. Scroll down. It'll be down there. Like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff.
I'm going to finish out with Jim's comment. Pasta la pasta with extra Italy.
Not the Italians. Oh. Mamma mia.
What's wrong, friend?
What are you doing?
Oh.
What are you doing? Seriously.
Says nothing.
What are you doing?
I can tell you what
Four
I'm
says
doing.
nothing.
I'm taking us to the outro.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Ladies and
Maybe
gentlemen.
I should swap my bumps with a train pulling out of a station now.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
With your
Right,
train whistle.
But then you got to tell us what your bumps were. And we haven't figured them out yet.
No.
No.
We gotta
never
figure it out.
telling you.
We gotta figure it
Never
out.
Telling.
Look, my arms are folded and everything. No. I'm closed off.
Good
The
man.
body. Friend 4 says nothing.
I relate to Friend 4 so much. But anyways, everybody, it has been a wonderful pleasure to be back here after our minor delay, but we're going to go ahead and wrap things up for the evening and say thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Boosters and Space Tape Relaunched, the podcast about Kerbal Space Program, real space, and other cool and sciencey stuff. We'll be back soon, which by soon we mean 1 week from today, because we're sticking to our original schedule like madmen.
Yes. Correct.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. What date is that? Well, they might be back. I might not be. That will be on the 22nd of June, 2023. Sorry, July. I am still like in the mindset that it's June. I don't know why.
Halfway through July.
Yeah, this year's gone by too quick. But we're going to keep on rolling and say we'd like to thank Popsky for our commissioned intro and outro music. You can find all of his music on his Bandcamp at popsky.bandcamp.com. That is Popskyoy. You can follow us on Twitter, TikTok, whenever Digi gets to it, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Boosters and Space Tape. You can shoot any questions or feedback to boostersandspacetape@gmail.com. Hell, if you actually get the Weasley, that little engine thing up to Mach 2, yeah. Send us some screenshots there. Do it.
Maybe we should add make a Threads account, and
maybe.
that way people can send us things on Threads.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Has anyone actually looked at Threads?
Yeah, I have. It's pretty good, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's something.
It's
But-
a thing.
Something.
But to keep up with our live recordings, you can follow here on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Matoro. That is Matoro. You can subscribe to the Boosters and Space Tape podcast on various platforms, including iTunes, Libsyn, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and basically anything else you can think of, because Aki made us discoverable.
There's nowhere you won't find us. We are everywhere.
Find us. Do it. You won't. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Matoro. This has been a lovely episode of Boosters in Space Tape relaunched with my lovely companions here, the one and only Digital Psychosis.
Bye-bye.
Hello. And the one and only Akinesis Gaming.
Cheerio.
Pip pip de doodly doo.
Do.
Everybody, thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you soon, and we will catch you again for more Kerbal Space Program, Real Space, and other cool and sciencey stuff. We're out of here.
And the panda's in the chat.
Ha! And there's the
Friend four
panda
smiled at the
himself.
end with the secret soup.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. Have a good one. We are out of here. Bye-bye.